Hi folks, now that you've completed these videos, here's your review of the materials you'll need to know for the final exam. This review summarizes what was covered during the demonstrations. Remember that you have to set the videos as completed to have access to the test. There's a button at the bottom of your screen that says Set the Unit as Completed. You'll need to press that. A certificate of completion will be provided once your test is graded and you achieve a score of 85% or higher. Good luck, and I hope to see you someday in the field. Hey everybody, Gene here. This is your review of materials that you're going to want to be familiar with to do well in your final exam. During the course of this review, we're going to show some photographs of actual defect investigations. Some really poor conditions are going to be shown, and I want you to see if you can spot what's wrong in each photograph. Okay, remember that when OSI WinteQ products are correctly used, as demonstrated in these videos, that you'll have a 15-year warranty on your installations. I want you to remember that before you prepare your WRB, you want to verify that the rough opening is correct. Remember, if the rough opening is not correct, you should not be installing windows. I want you to remember to cut a 6" by 6" piece of tech flash that you can use to help mark important locations that you're going to want to begin your cuts in your WRB with. Remember that the A1 method of window installation is demonstrated with the vinyl window and the wood window with non-integral nail fin. Remember that the OSI WinteQ method wants you to cut the WRB using a modified box cut. After your diagonal cuts are made over the rough opening in the WRB, hold the WRB up temporarily. You're going to want to trim the sides of the WRB 1.5 inches back, and you may remember that we used a 2x4 rolled on its side to help us mark the correct location. Remember that we demonstrated a membrane pan and that it uses butterfly corners we made from tech flash. And remember that the tech flash should be on the rough sill, the dimension of the window frame, plus 1/4 inch. This is important. You're going to want to always J-roller your tech flash flat. That's going to eliminate any wrinkles that could get you in trouble. Here's your sill pan flashing formula. It's the dimension of the rough opening plus 12 inches. That allows you to bring the membrane up each trimmer 6 inches. I need you to remember that shims should always be inorganic, plastic, high-impact shims, and you set them in sealant. Shim placement, 24 inches apart or less, and under all vertical mulls. Really important to remember that sealant on the nail fin should be 3/8 inch in dimension, and it should be plump. It should be a round, plump bead of sealant, not a little skinny ribbon of sealant. A big 3/8 inch plump bead of sealant on the outside edge of the nail fin, covering all your pre-punched nail holes that may exist, works magic in preventing leaks. At the lower nail fin, you're going to want to leave 2 2-inch gaps in the sealant for water to escape. That's called the path of least resistance. Your fastener schedule is whatever the manufacturer tells you it is. If they don't specify a fastening schedule, then go every 12 inches or less, and you want to keep fasteners 3 inches away from the ends of your nail fin corners. You can use screws or nails. If you're using screws, use 1 5/8 inches or longer. Exterior grade screws. Never use drywall screws. As long as they're exterior grade screws, 1 5/8 inches or longer, you're good. If you're using nails, a roofing nail is a good choice. Nice big fat head. Or if you're going to use a framing nail, use 8-penny nails or larger. tape your diagonal seams with Tech Flash or a WRB tape if it's provided by the WRB manufacturer. For instance, you can use Tyvek tape on Tyvek. But never use masking tape or duct tape to tape your seams. On the inside, apply Tech foam to all 4 sides of the window from the inside. A non-integral nail fin requires sealant be applied at the pivot point of the fin on the frame of the window. Don't forget that. If trim will be applied around the window after the window is set, use Baccarat and sealant around the perimeter of the window. During the wood window with brick mold installation video, a rigid pan system was used. Always assemble this type of pan properly and use the glue provided by the manufacturer. You're going to want to apply sealant on the sill of the rough opening and up each trimmer prior to the rigid pan being set. Then apply sealant behind the fins of the rigid pan. In our video, we used a B method. A B method means that the WRB will be installed after the window is set. So in this installation, it's important to apply a bib under the rough opening before the pan is set in place. Keep your staples snug to the rough opening so that the bib may be pulled up later to apply the WRB. On your B method, Tech Flash is applied on the sides and the top of the rough opening before the window is set. Use the same formulas for cutting the Tech Flash. Apply sealant at the inside edge of the brick mold where the brick mold connects to the jamb of the window. This is very important. Apply a 3/8 inch bead of sealant at the outside edge of the brick mold and at all miters of the brick mold. It's important that you understand the critical interface concept. Basically, what you need to remember is that flashing needs to extend 2 inches away, at least, minimum, from the critical interface. On a B method of window installation, with a wood window that has brick mold, rigid head flashing is very important. Always set your rigid head flashing into wet sealant. Now with rigid head flashing, you can use metal, which is very common, or you can use a plastic type of head flashing. But no matter which way you go, set it in wet sealant. On the radius window installation, after the rough opening is verified to be correct, and please remember that a radius window needs to have a radius rough opening. Never set a radius window into a rectangular rough opening. You begin the WRB preparation by marking a point 6 inches over the top of the rough opening. Draw a level horizontal line across the width of the rough opening. Mark 2 points over the rough opening that allows you to cut 30-degree lines in the WRB over the rough opening, and then hold that up temporarily. Your radius window will require a shingling of flashing across the top of the radius window. You want to overlap the Tech Flash a minimum of 2 inches at each overlap and keep the Tech Flash snug to the window. The secret is to make sure that your very last piece of Tech Flash that's placed is the very top piece. So apply your sides, working towards the top, and then you're done. On the A1 method, apply your flashing on top of the nail fins while the sealant is still wet. Now this is really important. If you let that sealant dry, then it may be lumpy and your flashing will not lay down properly, and you'll have problems with wrinkles and gaps underneath the sealant, underneath the flashing. The main difference between the A method and the B method of window installation is the placement of the side flashing. Remember that water always follows the path of least resistance. Sometimes that path is vertically against gravity. This concept is called capillary suction. So when water travels vertically against gravity, it's called capillary suction. Remember that the correct use of sealant is the most important part of these procedures. Do not skip or use less sealant than demonstrated in the videos. Alright, the video code for this video is R1963. Good luck, everybody. Water spray. When we began to apply water spray at the 5-minute mark, this leak developed. It's a very active drip. After 5 minutes of water spray with no differential pressure being used, 90 seconds after the spray rack was turned on, this leak happened. This test has not been going longer than 2 minutes at this point. And I gotta tell you, we're gonna stop this early.